The true Kabbalah, which is the Egyptian Ka-ba-ankh, teaches very powerful four-dimensional meditations where specific chants, tones, and vibrations are applied to various aspects of the soul. The ancient Egyptians understood harmonics and the waveforms of the universe. Temples and chambers were built by the ancient brotherhoods in order to amplify the lights, sounds, and frequencies. This was to manipulate the vibratory resonance within the temples. DMT, the plants of the gods. Teacher plants opens your third eye. The blue lily of the Nile, also known as the sacred lotus of Egypt, was grown by the brotherhood and used in rituals. Mandragora officinarum salvia, frank incense. Seeds of siren rue and ayahuasca. Many herbs and plants that were used by the ancients, as well as today's shamans, that opens the gateway to the astral world, contain a substance called dimethyltryptamine, or DMT for short. DMT has been described as the spirit molecule because it appears in hallucinogenic plants, also naturally occurs in the human brain. The effects of DMT often creates a so-called out-of-body experience, where the astral body can leave the physical body and explore the universe. DMT also teaches you spirit liberation. The most abundant supply of plants containing DMT are in the rainforests of South America. The Illuminati corporations are destroying the rainforests. Egyptian royalty would perform secret rituals in the chambers of the pyramids whilst ascending to heaven. They would also revitalize every cell in the whole body and revamp their souls, at the same time having the ability to access other dimensions and astral planes through the power of thoughts. This would also make them very smart and creative, sharpening their awareness levels and having access to the universal mind and higher knowledge. Communicating with the universal mind directly is not done with language, but with sacred geometry, archetypes. Mathematics is the language with which God has written the universe, said Galileo Galilei. This is done automatically in the mind's eye when one reaches perfection, the perfection of spirit and perfection of pure thought and pure love. Love is the chemical reaction in the brain that allows one to reach this purity of thought. When we say love, we don't mean loving your dog or your partner, which is all good, but we are talking pure love with everything around you in addition to pure thought. This is extremely difficult to achieve in this day and age with this diverse culture all around us, operating in the lower vibration density with the upper chakras switched off and lying dormant. Now, do you understand why the Cabal are doing what they're doing? They don't want you to achieve this perfection, otherwise their power is finished. They want you to remain arrogant and wait for salvation from an outside source, hence the savior programs. They have everyone on the hook. 70% of the population is waiting for salvation from a religious character. The rest are waiting for UFOs and aliens from a galaxy far, far away, or maybe interdimensional beings that will save the day. Another group have been turned into atheists, believing only in science, not knowing that their logo represents the Godhead. The remainder commit suicide, some in confusion of no hope in life, and some intoxicated by the cabal's medical mafia. But everybody in this life pays a price. Don't let these New Age chills tell you otherwise. The New Age movement was financed by Rockefeller to hijack and control the awakening taking place across the planet. Hence the fact that there is a lot of confused people involved in this New Age movement. Within this dimension we dwell, it operates on a dualistic system which has certain laws to follow. The results of your actions are automatically ruled by the punishing mechanisms of moral laws, in a similar way that the flow of water is ruled by the laws of gravity.
It is, of course, a way of all things. You see, there is only one constant, one universal. It is the only real truth. Causality. Action, reaction, cause and effect.
Everything begins with choice.
No, wrong. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
The elite don't just want to lose their power here, but also want you to reincarnate back again in the same ignorance that you left. Death doesn't cure ignorance. The question is, what stage are you in right now? You will never reach heaven after death. That is a well-known fact within the inner circles. Ascending to heaven can only be reached whilst we are still alive. The perfection of the heart must be achieved to pass to the next vibratory level and stargate. If you think that you will reincarnate thousands of times over, think again. You are only given a certain amount of lives in which to learn and get with the plan. Afterwards, the soul is scrapped. So, avoid death at all costs. Otherwise, you will start again. Although energy never dies, it sure can be recycled. So what are the implications of this? Well, due to your psychical laziness in thinking and going along with the nature by not changing it, you're severely punished for breaking those laws. The concept of reincarnation is yet another creation of the Matrix to keep consciousness in a cycle of enslavement while it believes it progresses through experiences.
I want to tell you something, Mark. Something you do not yet know. The universe will expand, then it will collapse back on itself, then it will expand again. It will repeat this process forever. What you don't know is that when the universe expands again, everything will be as it is now. Whatever mistakes you make this time around, you will live through on your next pass. Every mistake you make, you will live through, again and again. So my advice to you is to get it right this time around, because this time is all you have.
Religion has turned sinning into a fiasco. Actual sins are a misconception and fabrication of the real universal laws. The Illuminati love putting hints in their movies. There are several reasons for this. 1 is programming future events. 2, mind controlling the masses. And 3 is that they must tell you first what they're up to. During the first Christian years, when the teachings had not yet been corrupted, everyone knew that reincarnation with its complementary karma was the principal process of imprisonment of the celestial man into the kingdom of the fallen God Creator. The fallen God Creator is us falling from grace, not some devil, but inspired by demonic thinking entities. The very demands of his survival in this fallen state teaches man craftiness, lying, and deception. Otherwise, others will survive against him. The Cabal have built their empire on this very construct. The construct of dog eat dog, greed, lust, power by material gain, and placing money as the godhead of society. We have now become a parasitic society, parasiting on each other, going against universal laws on every level imaginable. All the teachers throughout the ages have placed some of these teachings of science for all to see, in allegories, some in paintings, some in codes, and some in architecture. Why? One was to avoid detection from the Inquisition of the days, some kept by secret organizations. The rest have been watered down and corrupted, with bits and pieces remaining somewhere in between. Everything is coming out now into the open for those who have eyes to see. So why did the ancients channel language? Before the fall from grace, man communicated telepathically.
In your mind you have capacities, you know, to telepath messages through the vast unknown. Please close your eyes and concentrate with every thought you think upon the recitation we're about to make.
Let's quickly look at the word God. In the Disclosure series, it claimed there is no God, and of course there isn't. We're talking about the God of dogma, the revengeful, bloodthirsty, and racist God that was created in the minds of men to control the docile masses. Let's look at the word God, spelled backwards. It spells dog, referring to the dog star Sirius in the constellation Canis Major, the greater dog or the top dog. We are not being blasphemous. We're merely pointing this fact out and its association with the English language and its subliminal attachment that was purposely devised. Heaven is a code word for the seventh chakra. We have all heard the term seventh heaven. God is a code word for ourselves, and also the word gods is a code for the chakras in many ancient texts. Hell is a code word for the base chakra, also known as the lower world, where the scorching hot Kundalini serpent lies dormant. The story of the creation in the book of Genesis is another allegory. God creates the universe in 7 days. On the seventh day he rested. Those of us who are educated know once the Kundalini serpent has ascended through the 6 chakras and passed through the 3 knots. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. These verses regarding the 2 great lights symbolize the heart chakra, where heaven and earth meet. Now, don't get the God of dogma mixed up with the source, universal intelligence. This source, or the original thought form, sits enthroned in every human heart that the inmost spirit of each man is part. Every element that exists on this planet is part of the human body.
The power of the One extends beyond this world. It reaches from here all the way back to where it came from.
Where?
The source.
Entities were created to help to unravel the unknown from the black vastness of knowledge. They were allowed to use the counter matter to think for themselves, similarly to the Godhead, but being bound to reality which was created. Demon. The word originally meant a supernatural being of Greek mythology, intermediate between gods and men, a thing of divine nature. The meaning was later changed by the Church to mean evil, and so on. Thought forms are different. As explained in holographic-disclosure 8, there are many types, but most are made by us, fixating on a thought. Hence, why the Cabal created archetypes of characters and events, so your thoughts are fixated on them. Then they channel that energy for themselves. The Illuminati also knows how to create their own thought forms to do their bidding, and kept them alive through worship that feed off emotional energy. Interdimensional thought form entities are also different. They have kept these universal secrets away from the masses and made them occult. There is a war going on in heaven. This is the real meaning, the struggle that is happening in the astral planes between demons, which are the Godhead's own entities, and the creation of energy thought forms created by the Cabal. They are very powerful, as they are kept alive by human and animal misery. This requires much study to fully comprehend these natural, universal phenomena.
We are here to be creators. We are here to infiltrate space with ideas and mansions of thought. We are here to make something of this life. We must pursue knowledge without any interference of our addictions. And if we can do that, we will manifest knowledge in reality, and our bodies will experience it in new ways, in new chemistry, in new holograms. There is no God condemning people. Everyone is God's. You are a God in the making, and you have to walk this path. But someday, You have to love the abstract as much as you love the condition of addiction. The only way that I will ever be great to myself is not what I do to my body, but what I do to my mind.